Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Hello friends and hello foes, and welcome to the Comedi-nons. It's a podcast we tried to start with 13, and here we are 9 years later, giving it the final go on cameras, not in the same room together, because goddamn, it feels like it's been 20 minutes still to start this damn recording. My name is Josh, joined by, as always, the man who just recently cut his finger open while he was cleaning with a sponge and a chef's knife. It's Jono.
Yeah, I was doing that thing that everyone tells you not to do, where I was holding the sponge in my right hand in my fingers, and I just ran the knife through the sponge, cut the sponge open, and cut my finger open. But I'm okay. My finger hurts a lot, but we'll cross that bridge later.
Yeah. And it's one of those things at the start when it happens that happened, but you don't immediately feel it, like we were saying before we started recording.
Yeah, I said
this seems
I cut it open, and I'm like, oh no, we're all good. And then like 5 seconds after it happened, but look, that incident is nowhere near as bad as this podcast recording. So as we said, this is the last not in-person episode. So get ready for some better audio and some good flow.
We can guarantee you that. There are not a lot of guarantees on this podcast. That's one guarantee I'm ready to bet.
Can I one up? I'm going to say a double guarantee that either this podcast will never go online again, we'll never do it via distance, or we'll just never do it again. If we can't get it working in person, we're not going back online.
Oh no, man! That's a big guarantee. I reckon we can still make it work online if we have to, but man, it's going to be just the worst. It'll be a Lost Chronicles of us complaining for half the time.
It will, but anyway, Joshua, I reckon it's about time to get started.
I know this is big. It's our final podcast of like the main series of podcasts, as we've been saying for a couple of weeks now.
Special episodes, 2 more to go.
It feels it's a bit exciting because it's our last in a row we're doing, right? We've been doing it weekly for a bit. We've been a little bit ahead of everyone. But this is the last time that we're doing it like this. For a little bit, we'll be back. We'll be back.
We're just a little bit ahead. It's almost May at the moment, so but, we're not too far ahead.
We're so excited. I just thought we'd bring the mood down a little because I want to recognize the end of last podcast for a bit. While this is so exciting and our hearts are so up because we don't have to do this dumb thing over
Zoom anymore,
over Zoom again, we finally have a bit of time. I thought we'd bring the mood down a little, okay? Just let's recognize how last episode ended. We want to keep these things flowing. Not well. If you heard my personal audio, and I may have explained a little bit, my microphone exploded.
It just died during the recording.
I have it right in. Well, I don't have it exactly right in front of me. I thought I had it right in front of me. I think it's behind me. But
do you have the ashes of it, or
no? I haven't decided what to do with it. Maybe that's something to do for next podcast.
On the final episode,
maybe that's a next season thing. We'll find something to do with that. But
I think so.
Jono, it's such it's so hard because this is something that was so close to me. I've had that microphone for years. And it's so hard to put it into words, like saying I am sad because the microphone said. I can't just say that. It's not something that I can just say, Jono. You can't just say I am sad. It's so difficult as men, obviously, as you might know, but we don't express feelings.
No, and certainly not about inanimate objects.
No, I mean that's exactly right.
Maybe
we don't like. Yeah, I was going to say maybe
have feelings about cars and maybe baseball bats, but that's it.
There are a few times when it's acceptable. So I thought I'd do one of the few ways it's acceptable to express my feelings, and that is through song.
I pressed it too early before. I'm ready to press it in the correct time this time.
It was 3 months ago when we made our first ep. I stepped to the mic and I was like, Jono, this microphone right here, it's gonna make us a podcast. We hit the pod, and then we talked, I swear we got so many views. Listens, I guess. We had views, Jono. We had views.
We did.
This is the lockdown of my life. Segments were next. Reviews weren't the best.
This
We
is
got
so long.
around the corner. We flattened out the edge. So cool, king of the cesspool. They knew they couldn't beat him. Rogan couldn't afford him. For bands and their Adidas. On the pod, we weren't the best. We had no hours like the pros. Yo, stick out the tongue to see the blue snowball logo. Comedi-nons to the moon. And Tobler was so dope. And we found out Waldo Tobler passed away 3 years ago. Whoa.
Fuck.
I wanted to be like Andy Wright. I wanted to be him. I wanted to be those guys once. I wanted to coast a brim. I wanted to be cool. I wanted to fit in. I wanted to be the Comedi-nons. It begins. I want a part. Can you take me there, Snowball?
I thought that was gonna be a fade out.
I broke down halfway. I don't know what to say, and I hoped so hard. I hoped so hard you'd make it there, my mate. But season's end. I'm sorry, my friend. I won't come and be put down.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing.
Thank you so much.
Oh,
I just want to put my feelings out there.
that's actually perfect.
Jono, I just want to say a couple things. Well, first of all, another great song. First of all, anyone has a couple with any rhymes I did there, you should listen to the original song, how many unrhymes there are.
Yeah, honestly, I was thinking about that. I'm like, these are questionable, but they're not that far away from the actual
from
song.
what they actually are. And I had that boiling away in my head for 3 days as I was sitting there trying to figure out how the hell I'm going to replace my microphone. And then I waited till literally an hour before this podcast recording, and I got that done.
My finger doesn't hurt anymore.
The power of laughter. Anyway, if anyone's interested, I have an Audio-Technica microphone. Let's end the segment.
Joshua, you and I have pretty big heads, and
I've been told that.
Big
melon.
I think we've both been told it. Big melons, big whoppers. I remember I smashed heads in primary school with some kid,
Ooh.
and our heads were both so big we just kind of rebounded off each other and had to go to sick bay.
I remember when I was in high school, I was on the bus and something fell on me. I had to push it up.
I was there. I'll never forget this. The bus. This is the best day of my life. We were on the bus, one of those packed school buses. It was like a public bus, so it was packed. And the bus, I think it hit the curb and hit a sign.
And a top thing fell off. And
you know, the roof rack thing in buses where you put your bags? That fell down onto Josh's head.
And then I just went...
Yeah. Anyway, my point stands, we have big heads. But what I don't think we have is big brains. I think we can apply ourselves, but I don't think we're naturally big brain people. And I wanted to put this to the test. If you remember that show from way back in the day, I certainly do. It's called Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? And I don't think we are.
Oh, I love that show.
We've got, I don't know how many questions there are because they're not numbered and I can't be bothered counting them. I think there's 10. We're going to teamwork this shit. We're going to do this together and we can figure this out. And I reckon...
I'm ready for this.
Do you have a phone or something? I reckon we should have 30 seconds to answer each question.
I don't have a phone. I can quickly bring up a thing if you want, though.
We can pause. We're going to pause and we'll come back when we've actually sorted ourselves out. All right, we're back. We're going to give ourselves 20 seconds per question. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read out the question and then I'm going to read out the 4 possible answers. As soon as I've said the last answer, you hit the timer, Josh.
Will do. Right? Yep.
All right. Question 1. If a car is traveling at 40 miles per hour, if it's at 40 miles per hour, how long will it take to go 190 miles? 4 hours, 45 minutes, 3 hours, 30 minutes, 4 hours, 15 minutes, 3 hours, 15 minutes. Go. Okay. 40 miles in an hour. How many 40 miles are there in 190 miles? So you go 40 plus 40 is 80, plus 40 is 120, plus 40 is 160.
There's an easy way to do this. 4 3, 2,
I think it's this. I think it's 4 hours 15. No, it's 4 hours 45. No. Damn. Half
There's
an
gotta
hour
be an
off.
easy way to do that. I didn't get that end bit of the question, but I was with you in spirit.
I was panicking. All right.
20 seconds is not a long amount of time, John.
No. All right. I'm going to get you to hit the timer straight away. Hit it. True or false? Oh no, you can't see it. It's a picture. The following picture is of a Tyrannosaurus Rex. I'm being shown a Stegosaurus, so I'm saying it's false. We got that correct.
I don't know how I feel about that one. If that's a all right. Let's go.
Right.
Let's go.
How many nouns are in the following sentence?
Okay.
The rabbit ran to the cafeteria and ate a big salad. Is it 2, 3, 4, or 5? I think it's 3. Rabbit, cafeteria, and salad. Yes.
Yes.
Correct.
Easy. 5 seconds. 5
Easy.
seconds.
My finger started to hurt again.
What you got? What you got? Oh no.
What unit of measurement is abbreviated to OZ? Is it ounces, pounds, liters, or oblongs?
It's ounces. It's ounces.
Oblongs. Imagine if it was oblongs. That's correct.
Oh, let's go.
True or false? The human shoulder is a ball and socket joint. True.
Yeah, true. That makes sense.
Mate, maybe this is because it's BuzzFeed, but we're hella smart. I think so smart.
Than BuzzFeed. Can we say that? Maybe that's the segment.
Smarter than BuzzFeed. Yeah. Oh, we definitely are. All right, this is a good one. This is 3rd grade life science.
Okay.
Which of these is a mammal? A seahorse, a sea lion, or a sea urchin? A seahorse would be a fish. Yeah, sea lion's like a seal, isn't it?
We've done biology, man. Remember?
Yes, sea lion.
Yes.
Our biology wasn't zoology though. It was
but we did the kingdom
nuclei of a. Oh, it was stupid. It was so hard. Whenever you say to anyone, you're like, "Oh, I did biology at high school," and they're like 20 years older than you, they go, "Oh, I did biology. It was easy." Like, no, biology has changed, man. It's like chemical biology. They're made of organelles. Try to pull a fast one to the cytoplasm jazz. Hey, Christmas special. Should I perform the rap of the cell song? We'll both perform the rap.
That's kind of good.
We'll perform a rap.
I know you can't. I don't know if you can catch up to my rapping skills.
That's true, Mr. Macklemore over here. All right. Now, Joshua, would you consider me a geographer?
I hope so.
Because this is 2nd grade geography.
Oh no!
So I'm really hoping with a tertiary education in geography that I can get this. Which continent is the least populated? Is it Asia, Antarctica, Australia, or Europe?
That's
gotta be Australia.
I mean, I've walked around the city these days.
I've walked around Antarctica and it's pretty quiet. Antarctica, bingo.
Hey, let's go. Right. Maybe we're smarter than a 5th grader.
We've got them all right. Oh no, we got the math one wrong.
Do you remember? Right. Okay, we'll get to that again. Continue, sorry.
4th grade social studies. I don't know what social studies is.
I think that's history.
You're a social study? Oh, okay, cool. All right. Since the 1930s, since the late 1930s, what calendar date has been designated for the inauguration of a United States president? Is it A, January 1, B, January 15, C, January 20, or D, January 23?
This is BS, we're not American. But I think it's later January. I want to say it's 20 or 23.
Okay, that's interesting because I was going to say it's either 20 or 15. Now, I think the reason 15 in my head is because that's my sister's birthday. That means the one we both agree on is 20.
20.
So let's just go for it. 20! No way!
Yes.
No way!
My logic was like, I was like doing that moment of like, wait, when did Trump get elected? Oh God, my mind was trying to reel.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to think as well.
Yeah.
All right.
What you got for me?
A question, something or other. In the initials of the federal agency known as NASA, what does the first A stand for? American, Aeronautics, Association, or Administration?
Aeronautics.
National Aeronautics and Space Administration. Aeronautics. Fantastic.
Yes.
Joshua, we're killing this, man.
We're really smart. You know what? I take
our
everything I
noggins
said back, and I take everything we take back. We have big brains to fit inside our big heads.
This is a really hard quiz, and we're
It's so
absolutely
difficult.
slaying.
I hated that Antarctica question. Got me thinking, man. I wasn't sure.
Got the juices flowing?
Yeah.
All right. 5th grade history. What revolutionary leader wrote the influential Common Sense in 1776? You're a book person. I have no idea what this is.
Go ahead.
Who wrote Common Sense? Was it John Locke, Abraham Lincoln, Thomas Paine, or John Adams? I only know who
it's
one
either
of these
Locke
people
or
are.
Paine. I don't know.
Who was
I think
Locke?
it's
What did he
Paine.
do?
I'm gonna say Paine. I
What
guess
did
it's
Paine
Paine.
do? Who
Paine, I
knows?
think he did Common Sense. by
Paine!
Thomas Paine.
Well done!
I'm going to be honest. I only know that because there's a line in Hamilton that goes, I've been reading Common Sense by Thomas Paine. You might think that I'm obsessed, all I'm insane. You've had a revelation. I'm a revelation. That's why I just remembered it, actually.
That takes me back, actually.
That only took me a moment. I was like, wait a second. It's in there. My brain.
All right. We got one question and two
All right.
bonus questions. I don't know when it's going to tell us our result.
All right.
What was the name of the first satellite put into orbit by the United States?
Oh, no.
Oh, shit. Was it Explorer, Titan, Mercury, or Apollo? Okay.
It's not Apollo.
Now, a satellite is just anything that orbits something else. So it's not necessarily going to be a monitoring
is BuzzFeed that smart?
I don't think so.
I think it's Explorer. My guess is Explorer because I don't know Mercury or Titan.
I know you know when you look at Google Maps and you're like, oh, damn, it actually looks kind of grainy. Yeah. That's when they use a satellite called Earth Explorer. So that makes me think it's old. So let's go Explorer.
Yeah.
Bang. Look at that. Because Apollo was the rocket ship.
Apollo was a rocket ship. I don't even think Titan either of those two are actually things. And I'm willing to be, if someone wants to complain to me and say you're dumb and you're wrong,
send us an email.
Send us a message. You know, tell me I'm wrong. I love to be told that.
All right, bonus question. Let's speed run these.
Go ahead.
Bonus question 1.
10 seconds for each.
Okay. What ancient civilization built the Machu Picchu complex in Peru? Was it the Mayas, the Incas, the Aztecs, or the Zappos? Zappos is a lolly.
Incas?
It's either Aztecs or Incas. I think Aztecs were like Mexico, so we'll go Incas. Yes, year 8 history, baby.
Hey, let's go.
I in my pencil case with Sharpie in year 8 history watching.
I'm so glad I spent so much time watching horrible histories. It's really helped.
Yeah. All right, final question.
5 seconds.
For all the chockies. All right.
5 seconds.
Including reading the question, okay?
Okay, 5 seconds. Ready?
Count me down.
Set. Go.
What species can live both on land and water? Arthropods, birds, amphibians, fish. I think amphibians. Yes! Yes! 12 out of 13.
What did we miss?
The math question.
Oh, right. Sorry. That's what we missed. See, we said rule. I don't remember what rule it was, but one of the only rule so far mentioned on the podcast is we don't do maths. And I think that really explains it.
I'm a data analyst for a living.
let's not talk about that. You have computers to do the maths for you, though.
I have computers. All right. Well done, Joshua.
No,
well done.
I will say, I was trying to think, like, do you remember the Australian version of that show? Rove hosted it.
Yeah, Rove. It wasn't very good, to be honest.
I remember loving it, but I also thought that was because I was a kid.
Yeah, when you were a kid.
Yeah, look at these dumb adults. I knew them. I'm going to school.
You just see Hamish and Andy getting absolutely tromped on by like an 8-year-old. No, that was fun. Well done, Joshua. You were smarter than a 5th grader.
Jono, I know we're winding down for the rest of the year. We're trying to tie up some loose ends.
Yep.
But I thought I'd put a call out. Maybe we can do the start of the work and we can get some people to help us. By the time we get to next year, maybe we'll have something to work on this for next year. Put the feelers out.
We're outsourcing.
You know, I do my day job when I'm not a famous podcaster.
No, not your day job. Your side hustle. What's your side hustle?
When I'm not a Macklemore impersonator, I spend a lot of time on the phones doing call stuff, right? But one
Yeah.
thing sometimes they tell you on the phones to learn
So
is
what else do you do on a phone?
I don't know. I mean, you can get lots of stuff on the phone. You seen the phones they bring out these days? They fold.
That's true. That's true. I did that to mine, and it just caught on fire and it
Yeah, it
exploded.
broke.
But
It
yeah.
exploded. Like my microphone.
But yes, you do a lot of stuff on the phone.
One thing they tell you that's good to do is to have is to learn the phonetic alphabet. To learn,
Oh,
so instead of saying
Alpha, Bravo,
to
Charlie.
yeah, to explain letters on the way you say C for Charlie or F for Foxtrot or etc.
Can I say something on this?
Yes.
I was at work today, and we just sit in a big office and we all yell at each other. And someone asked me for my email address, so I said what it was. It involves my first name, so I said Jonathan. She's like, "Oh, how do you spell that?" And I said J-O. So I forgot how to spell my name. I said Jonathan, and she's like P. I'm like, no, T. She's like PH in Jonathan. I'm like, no, T for train. But I don't even know why I had to do that. As if it's
Yeah,
gonna be
you weren't even on a phone doing that. You were shouting at
I
someone.
was shouting across a
But
room.
I thought,
3 meters away.
I mean, it's not my place to say. It's not my place to say. But I've always thought, those words that they use to describe, they're just not really caught up with today's lexicon.
They're a little bit
Jono.
foxtrot, if
They're
you
a
will.
bit, they're a bit foxtrot. They're just a bit dumb.
Because they come from the military.
The military. That's
Yeah,
right.
the Air Force,
That's from
because
NATO. Air Force. Exactly. What I thought I would put the feelers out for, anyone who has any ideas, maybe podcast related, is we could create our own Comedi-nons code.
That's good.
Instead
I like
of the
that.
phonetic alphabet, it's the Comedi-nons code. And we can make little things and say, if you are part of the Comedi-nons code and you ever want to explain something, you use these words instead.
Yes, or I reckon you just incorporate it into the rest of your life. So
Yeah, just incorporate
maybe
it into...
maybe not in a professional complex for you, but all the time people are like, oh, M, and you go, oh, M for Mary. In that situation, you use the Comedi-nons code.
You use the Comedi-nons code.
I think so.
I just think it would really help. I just feel like it'd be a cool little thing. It's just outdated.
Because
I don't have a.
I think that's why no one actually knows what they are.
No one really.
So what you
knows
do,
it.
you just think of something, and you always regret what you come up with,
and it's always something weird.
Yeah,
I was doing it the other
like,
day, and I forgot. I was
cotton wool ball. I'm like, why did I say that?
Panicking, and I said like P for pig, and I was like
Yeah.
V for what do you say V for? And like my first mind went to something. I was like V for something. V for vendetta.
That was perfect. That was a perfect alley-oop.
Oh, that's a good one. I was like, you two. I always get stressed. Someone goes, "Wait, did you say P?" And I said V. V. You said P, and I said V. Like you said, it's just so stressful.
P
stressful.
for pancetta. So we said P for pancetta.
It's just so difficult. And I just think maybe we could do a bit of a back and forth right now and give some people ideas, maybe podcast related, maybe something go, oh, that's something that is a thing.
Okay. I'm getting out a notepad, Joshua.
I was about to do the exact same thing, actually.
All right. So
I had the first obvious one.
Back and forth. You give me a letter, I'll give you the word, whatever comes to our mind, and we'll do that a couple times.
I have one I want to start off with that I think should just be.
So do you have A?
I don't have A. We'll go. Wait.
We'll go random. We'll go random.
Righto. Okay. My first one, obvious one. C for Comedi-nons. I think that goes without saying.
C.
That should be the C.
I've got a great one.
Yeah, go for it.
If C is for Comedi-nons, then W is for with Josh and Jono.
So someone says, did you say W? Yeah, I said W for with Josh and Jono of the Comedi-nons.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one.
With Josh and Jono, the hosts of the Comedi-nons. And then in that case, I reckon to end our little brainstorming session for today before we throw it over to the people, J is Josh and Jono, but you have to rotate through it.
You have to rotate.
First time you say J and they say, oh, K, you go, no, J for Josh. And they go, oh, yeah. And then the next time someone says,
you have to say
oh,
Jono.
what? You say J, oh, for Jono. You have to remember it. It's very important.
I love it.
I like that. I like the way you think, Josh. And just
Thank
tell
you.
us, if you listen to the podcast, send us in your suggestions. I don't know, maybe we'll come up with a form. Who knows? We'll figure it out over the break.
Oh, that's a good idea. We'll figure it out for sure.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. I like it. Signing out.
Yeah.
I was gonna do like an aeroplane thing when they go like, "Hey, NATO, Charlie, Bravo, Foxtrot," but I couldn't think of enough words. All right, we're back for our final segment. I said I didn't know how to start it, so I'm like, you know what? Let's start it the most awkward way possible. We're back for our final
You'd think,
segment.
having done 12 episodes of this dumb thing, we would have had some kind of unique way to enter this conversation.
Okay, how about a unique way? We are back for the final segment, and my finger has a new dressing on it. I applied what they
You
call
plugged it up. Yeah.
what that I didn't need doctors. I did some little doctor work. I put some antiseptic cream straight from the tube on my finger, right?
Did that
and
sting?
then in my other hand, no, it didn't sting at all.
No.
Which maybe it's expired, but it doesn't matter.
It's fine. It's not important now.
Then I put a Band-Aid on it, and then good as new. So anyway, got a brand new finger, and so I think this segment's going to be
fantastic.
A banger. But I like to tell a little story. So I think I hinted a couple of times during this episode that I'm now working in an office, and that's because I'm on day 2 at time of recording of joining
big
Josh
business boy now.
Full time, not in the same company.
No, but we're both big businessmen now.
We're both businessmen. I got my fancy purple shirt and my brown shiny shoes.
Very nice.
And I'm out there, and it's a big adjustment, but it's really exciting. But it was about 2 weeks ago, I found out that I would be starting the Monday that just passed. And I had, from that point, I think I had exactly 16 days or something, right? And I'm like, I have to do something with this time. Because what am I going to do? I'm just going to like sit around at home, just kind of relaxing and chilling out. And like, I feel like I need to sort of push myself. I need to get out there. I need to do something different.
You gotta,
and
for sure.
Because I'm like, I almost in a way felt like, okay, I have 2 weeks to live. Like, what am I gonna regret not doing? And something I've always considered doing for a while is going to the gym. Yeah. And I made myself laugh because Josh and I were just talking. I'm wearing a shirt that says "Jim's Jabs" on it. Not that kind of gym. Not Jim's.
Not Jim as in J.
Business,
no.
But G for
what? For guitar.
Boys. Guitar. G for guitar.
I looked it behind you.
It's a nice guitar.
It's a nice guitar.
But I thought I want to go to the gym, but I actually thought about it. That's not really what I wanted. I didn't want to go somewhere and lift weights and get my swole on. What I was sort of looking for was somewhere to go and sort of, put pressure on yourself to exert yourself and sort of have that place where you can go and like sweat out your feelings, essentially. Yeah. Because often,
that's
like, I'll go for a run.
That's what the point of the gym is, yeah.
Exactly. As we said, I like going for a run or going for a ride, but I kind of wanted a concentrated place.
Because Jono, as we said in the first, it's hard to. We're not allowed to say proper feelings being
no,
men.
We can't.
So how are you going to do it? You have to do it through song, or you get a sweat on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you just see all the guys just struggling in there. If you go to the gym after any sports complex after 8 p.m., those guys are hurting. So it's a good place to go. But I'm like, what can I do that's not the gym? That's not who I am. I'll break if I picked up a dumbbell. Of course. And I decided that something I always really liked as a kid was going to the swimming pool. Yeah. And I'd just be mucking around, splashing in the aqua play lane, like as a 10-year-old, just with the pool noodle floating around. And when you sort of grow out of the age where you can go and do that, where it becomes socially unacceptable as a 16-year-old, an 18-year-old, a 22-year-old to go and just play in the pool. And what you do instead is you go and you swim laps. So yes, after absolutely no technical issue at all, we're back again. This happens every single episode.
At this end of the podcast.
It is. I was saying that going to the pool, it's something I've never been confident enough to do when I'm at the stage where I sort of have to go and swim laps because I'm not athletic. I'm not coordinated at all. I look like a bean post. You know those things that you like shove in the garden,
Yes.
grow tomatoes on. That's what I look like.
You look
And
like
you
a
get the mullet and you go,
yeah. You look like
a steak, a
a
steak.
steak.
That's what I look like. But I'm like, you know what? Let's go and try. Oh, and it's also important to point out I'm very severely asthmatic. I've had pneumonia. My lungs are shot to pieces. I've essentially the lung capacity of a heavy smoker. So I'm like, you know what?
Ironically.
This will probably be good. The mind,
Yeah.
body, the soul, and the lungs. And I started in the 25-meter pool inside. And, I'd swim a lap. I'd be absolutely exhausted. I'd have a big rest. I'd swim another one. I'd get maybe 500 meters in an hour. I went back every single day. And over the course of 2 weeks, I went from being like that in the 25-meter pool to I could swim 25 meters, 5-second rest, 25 meters, 5-second rest. I could swim a kilometer in about 50 minutes.
Very
Then
nice.
I went to doing laps of 50, laps of 100. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go outside. I'm feeling confident.
Ooh.
Go in the outdoor pool, the big boy pool. And God, I tell you what, when you're a slow swimmer who can't breathe, swimming 100 meters in a 50-meter pool is a long way because you only get one kickoff. And it's like, wow, you're swimming for nearly 3 minutes when you're as slow as me.
Yeah, it feels like forever.
It felt like forever, but I felt like I'm finally doing this. Like, I just wasn't, like, scared. I was just perfectly
That's
confident.
awesome.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm doing this. I'm out here. I'm swimming every single day. The lifeguards know me. Like, this is great. Anyway, at the end, one of the lifeguards have been an absolute king. Like, there are all these kids and stuff that have been like jumping in my lane. So I don't mind that.
Yeah.
But after a while, like, it's kind of like, okay, like, when are you going to notice that I'm not swimming, I'm floating past slowly.
It's weird because like I remember as a kid when I was doing lanes, I was always extremely scared of the person
intimidated by them.
of the person who's doing laps for me.
Yeah.
Now,
Don't go anywhere near them.
now, to be fair, if it was you doing laps for me, I don't know if I'd be intimidated.
You probably wouldn't even notice that I was doing laps.
You do those like weird wiggles you do before. You know those people who are just learning backstroke. You do those weird wiggles as you're trying to lift your hand.
yeah. And I'm doing like force,
and you're like moving your shoulders like this.
What's it called? Four stroke.
Free stroke. What?
Freestyle.
I was so confused. You said four stroke. I'm like, what do you mean four stroke? This isn't an engine.
Freestyle. So I'm like just slapping the water with my arms. But yeah, the lifeguard was being a boss, like getting all these kids out of the lane. And I said to him at the end, I'm like, oh mate, you had your hands full, and like we got chatting or whatever. And like I'm feeling so confident at this point. I'm like, this is fantastic. And he's like, oh, and your name was? I'm like, oh, I'm Johnny. He's like, oh, I'm fake name Luke. Nice to meet you, man. And then he's like, oh, you come here a lot. I'm like, yeah. I'm like here every day. I've been coming every day for the last 2 weeks. And look, I'm not the best swimmer, but I've gone from being able to barely swim a lap to I can swim for a couple of minutes at a time. He's like, I thought he was going to be like, mate, that's awesome. Good progress or everything. And he's gone, yeah, mate, not going to lie. Watching you swim, I'm like, oh, mate, I'm on here. I'm going to have to jump in and save this guy.
No.
Confidence, right back down.
Here we are thinking like you're like getting into that conversation so confident, like, oh my god, he's gonna give me some big up, like, yeah, you've improved.
He's gonna like give me kudos.
This whole time he's just like he's got his little tube ready, his little like donut going like this
standing at the end.
Brown.
I saw him standing at the end, and I thought that's just because sometimes they just stand there and space out because they do nothing.
Yeah,
stand there and space out. But he wasn't doing nothing. He was watching me in case he had to dive in. Surprised he didn't take his shoes off. But look, I did go back to the pool the next day. I haven't seen him. If I do see him, my confidence might go back down. But hopefully it doesn't put me off it forever.
Yeah, Jono, I will say that I'm a big fan of swimming. I love swimming. I haven't done it for a while. Owing to the maybe huge lockdown that we had, my confidence hasn't been that high, and just like going into the pool and it's water and that transmits diseases. But I'm feeling better about it. The thing that I really have been
un-COVID safe place ever.
Talking about like stuff that I might try to work on, and you're willing to hold me to it when we get back. And I'm scared that I've said that now that someone's going to hold me to it when we get back next year. What I want to get better at is swimming in the ocean. I've been a big fan of swimming in pools. I love swimming in pools. The thing I haven't done and I wish I could do way better at, Because I remember, like, I went out when I did, again, I say schoolies with the boys. I don't mean with the boys because,
No.
again, you've ever met me. But, like, one of my mates
With the
who I went out,
gentleman.
like, we were lucky we got, like, right next to the beach. And one of my friends, he would, like, wake up and he'd run down to the ocean. He'd do a big swim. I could
That's
just
sick.
never do that. I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of swimming in open ocean. Not open ocean. You know
the
what I mean?
open
though.
ocean kind of freaks me out a little bit.
But that's where I want to get to. I think that's what I'm going to
Yeah.
try to get to this summer.
I quite like that idea.
Yeah.
We go to one of those resorts where there's a pool and then an
Yeah.
ocean. You go in the ocean and I'll go in the pool.
Yeah. Sounds like a date.
2020.
22.
Yeah, done.
The
Done.
Comedi-nons vacation. And that has been the final main series episode of 2021. The
final
inaugural season
non-special episode.
Yep. The inaugural season of the Comedi-nons. The
home and away season.
The home and away season. The first season and maybe the most just cursed season.
Yeah,
We'll
it's been tough. It's been tough. We never know. We might look back on this and be like, "Damn, that was an easy run compared to what we had to deal with."
But I'm so happy we got through the year. We got through it. It's been about 3 months, as my song alluded to.
Yes, it has, and that coincidentally brings us to the name of the episode.
Yeah,
what are we up to? Is this number 12?
This is episode 12, Jono. Named
right. Episode 12. You've been put down. I think that's a perfect summary for the end of the home and away season, to be honest.
We're going to put down Zencastr. We're going to put down all these freaking things we're using to record the dumb podcast.
Honestly, we are. And we're going to go out to DJ City, not sponsored. And we're going to buy ourselves some gear, we are.
Unless, it
actually ticks me off so much when YouTubers do that. They're like, oh yeah, I went to Subway. Oh, I'm not sponsored, but Subway, if you're listening.
And also, non-sponsored, but in my rap, I reference Adidas and I reference snowballs. I know I didn't paint a really good picture of snowball microphones, but you never know.
I was going to say, don't leave it to snowball microphones. If it's snowball like the marshmallow covered in chocolate,
that's a good point. I'll take one of those. I'll have a snowball marshmallow.
Marshmallow
microphone.
But I think to close out the home and away season, I will stress next week's episode will be essentially what one of our mates called the cutting room floor episode. We're calling it lost episode, something like
forgotten something.
Yeah,
used and recovered.
The ones that were good, but we kind of had to just cut because they were running too long.
There'll be a few little in-betweeny bits here and there. But it'll be fun.
Some really early day stuff. The pilot, we've got some episode in there when we were just spitballing, and we're like, "Oh, let's see if we could do a podcast." And we recorded. If you wanted to hear us sort of talk a little bit about that, go to 2 episodes ago when we did the quiz. The quiz.
If everything's everywhere right now.
And then after that will be the Christmas special,
the mythical Christmas episode.
I don't know what that's going to involve.
Immediately the week afterward, or maybe a couple of weeks. It'll be close to Christmas. That's the point of it.
It'll be spaced out. This is the home and away season is over. It's no longer going to be week to week.
That's right. It's like the finals of footy or sports. I believe. That's right. I'm reliably informed that's how that works.
I said that's right. I don't know if that's right. I'm purely taking this on face value. I just wanted to say it's been a ripper. It's been really fun. It's something that obviously we say in the intro. 9 years ago we tried to do it, and we did for maybe 30 minutes, and I don't think we even managed to record anything. And it's really nice after years and years and years of Josh pestering me to do a podcast. It finally just naturally all fell into place, and I've really, really enjoyed it. And I think we'll touch on more on this in the Christmas episode.
I feel like we will.
As the home and away season comes to a close, it's been a ripper home and away season.
Yeah,
and I can't wait to finish the year strong with our final episode in a couple weeks' time.
And this is I won't see you next week. This is not going to be this is not what's going to happen next week. It's going to be weird. Well, they'll see us next week, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Well,
I
we
mean,
haven't
we've
decided
gotta-
how that's going
We've
to
got
work
to
yet.
figure
but
out how to actually
No.
put this shit together.
may or may not be a conversation that's happening after this podcast recording.
I just saw
But,
in Josh's eyes, and he saw it in my eyes. And went, oh, we have not figured out how we're going to do this.
But Jono,
anyway,
it's time.
it
I'll
is
see you.
time.
I'll see you at Christmas.
I'll see you at Christmas. Adios.
Bye bye, guys.